was arrested.
Patrick Montgomery was in court.
Jonathan Manapa will stay in federal custody.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Everyone, welcome to the show. So 61-year-old Virginia resident Cindy Fitchett traveled to D.C. with her co-defendant Douglas Sweet. They headed down to the Capitol after Donald Trump's speech, and Fitchett was seen in her own video on Capitol grounds yelling, quote, "We are storming the Capitol. We have broken in. Patriots arise. Woo!" Shortly after recording the video, Fitchett was seen along with her friend. They illegally entered the building together. They made their way to the Capitol crypt, and then they followed some officers along with a bunch of other people down a flight of stairs to the visitor center. So the officers had fled because the mob just got so out of control and they were throwing things at the police. So Fitchett and her co-defendant walked toward a police line. The police ran down the stairs. They ran to the end of a hallway, and then they formed a new police line, a defensive line, at the end of the hallway. Well, they approached the officers. The officers were ordering everyone to leave, but Fitchett and the others refused. So the police started arresting people. They arrested Fitchett and Sweet on the spot. But, as we've seen with other people who were taken into custody that day, Fitchett and her friend were released because the police didn't have anywhere to hold people. They couldn't transport them because there were just too many people in the roadways. They literally couldn't get a vehicle out of the Capitol grounds, so they couldn't take them to a police station. They had nowhere to hold them inside of the Capitol. So anyway, they let them go, and then Fitchett was formally arrested on January 12th of 2021. And she was charged with entering a restricted building or grounds, 2 counts of disorderly conduct, and parading or demonstrating in a Capitol. Following Fitchett's arrest, she admitted to seeing 3 young men in the Capitol, quote, determined to destroy as much as they could destroy. According to Fitchett, she said these 3 men were using stanchions to beat the walls in the Capitol. They were beating them against the walls. And she said, I thought that was wrong. She said she told them to stop. Don't know if that's true, but anyway. In August of 2021, Fitchett pleaded guilty to the parading charge, so she was looking at up to 6 months in prison, 5 years of probation, and $5,000 in fines. However, the prosecutor requested only 2 months of home detention, 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution. They were willing to give her a break because she has no criminal history prior to the Capitol. And then she quickly took responsibility for her actions. So they were willing to give her a slap on the wrist. And in a letter to the pre-sentencing reporter, Fitchett said that January 6th was, quote, not a day that I am proud of. And then she also wrote that she was disappointed in herself and, quote, should have made a better decision. So U.S. District Judge Carl Nichols presided over Fitchett's case, and when all was said and done, he sentenced Fitchett to only 1 month of home detention, 3 years of probation, 60 hours of community service, and $500 in restitution. You all know how I feel about these weak sentences. I don't think it is a sufficient deterrent, but this one, I will say it was one of the more minor cases, and someone who, in my opinion, isn't likely to do it again. We haven't heard anything from her since then. It's been quite a while. So I still maintain that 2 to 3 months in prison is warranted for someone who took part in an attack on our Capitol. I think that should be the bare minimum. But, in this case, it appears that it was a deterrent. Now, we'll see what happens this year. I mean, she wasn't hit with a felony. She is allowed to vote. She's off probation by this point or close to it. So, yeah, I can imagine, if Donald Trump loses again, it's a 50-50 prospect of whether or not we'll see this woman again. Anyway, I'll let you know. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you have not already. Please donate if you possibly can, or leave a tip or super thanks. Or if you can become a monthly donor, it really helps to keep the show going. So truly appreciate it. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.